since doing this wild business, I had the opportunity to travel with, you know, the people, you know, in our team with you, you know, we've been to Korea together, we've been to Singapore, we've been to US for the YL retreat last year. It was an epic trip, right?
Yeah, I know, right? That was
It was
so
epic.
awesome.
Yeah, and we went.
So welcome to another episode of Monday Mentors with Melissa. So today we have a very special guest, okay? Let me do a brief intro about our guest today. She is a mother of three who quitted her job after working for the same company for 20 years, or over 20 years to be exact. And she rises to the rank of gold with Young Living in, I think, a few months after that. So she is also, of course, my very, very beloved leader, okay? And I think I speak for a lot of people that she really leads by example, okay? So welcome, Dinah Low. Hi, Dinah.
Hello, Melissa. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being part of my Monday Mentor Show. Okay, so tell us a bit more about yourself and how did you got involved with Young Living?
Sure. Okay. I am a wife. I'm a mom of three. And I'm very proud to say that I'm originally from Sabah, but I have settled down in KL for the last 23 years because my husband is from KL. A bit about my background. I have a background in electrical and electronic engineering. But when I stepped out into the real world, I stepped out into the new world of IT, which I was never trained for. And I was in that company for 20 years before I stopped. Okay, and at that time I stopped because we had plans to migrate to another country. But then after I quit, things didn't work out, and we're still in Malaysia. Okay, and how did I join? How did I get myself into Young Living? Well, a good friend of mine has been, you know, asking me to join Young Living. But at that time, I was really not ready for it, right? In my head, I had no space for new things in my head at that time. And I didn't know what I didn't know, but I knew that I didn't have time for it, okay? But then after she constantly shared with me about it, I decided to give Young Living a go. Okay, and I just started to use the oils. It was totally new to me. I just started diffusing the oils, and I really liked the really nice scent, and you know, got to know that, you know, there are therapeutic benefits of it, and one thing led to another, and yeah, the rest is history. And I'm so glad that I got that premium starter kit. Right? It is a life changer. Yeah.
All right. So you knew then, do you know then, back then, that Young Living was a network marketing business?
Yeah, I did.
So did you have any reservations being about it?
No, I didn't, because to be honest, while I was working, I was actually a member of another network marketing company, but I was more of a user of the product, and eventually I was sort of doing the business on a part-time basis. So I do have some experience in the network marketing area. But after a while, I decided to stop that because of some reason, personal reasons. But I do know that a lot of people have a lot of reservations about MLM, and I know what not to be, right? I don't want to project that typical MLM, you know, vibe that a lot of people are projecting. I know what not to project and what not to be, right? And I don't have any reservations about it. If I did have, I wouldn't be where I am today.
That's very, very true. Okay. Yeah. So now you made a very huge decision, like you said, to quit the job that you had hold on for more than 20 years. So how did it feel at that time to make such a huge decision? And really, what was it that sealed the deal?
Okay, so how did I feel at that time when I quit my job of 20 years? I felt so many emotions. I was sad because I was leaving the people that I was working with then. They are very professional and they're really nice people. I mean, I spent the last 10 years working from home, and I have not met in person 90% of the people that I was working with. But you know, I've been dealing with them every day, and they're really professional, really nice. And of course, I felt sad for leaving a company which has been part of like half of my life, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, I was scared because I only knew of that company for the last 20 years, and then now it's like I'm stepping out to the real world.
Yeah.
So I was scared. At the same time, I was excited as well because of at that time I knew we wanted to migrate to another country, and I was excited because this new adventure that's beyond there is waiting for us. But when we discovered that things were not going to work out with our migration, that was fine. But what was scary was that, okay, what now? Do I need to go back to work? And so I decided to ramp up my presence in LinkedIn, and I decided to update my CV, which I had not updated in yonks, in a long time. And then I was thinking like, okay, if I were to be in another company, working for another company, number one, will I get the flexibility? Will I be able to work from home? Or do I need to, go out of the house early in the morning and then come back in the evening? What's going to happen to 3 of my kids, right? Because they are still young, right? They're still school-going kids. And I didn't want that. So my husband said, since you're already in Young Living as a member, you are already, we are using the products and sort of doing it as a part-time business. Then, why don't you just give it a shot for 2 years in the business, do it full-time, and if it doesn't work out, then go back to work lah. Right? Go back to work lah, right? No choice, what? Go back to work lah. So I said, okay, then in that case, then I decided to then dive into it full-time, into the YL business. So what sealed the deal was, I guess, the support of my husband, who said that, okay, why don't you give it a go, right? Because
it's very rare to get a husband who will ask you to go ahead doing this, right? Because I think many of us will will have very reserved husbands about network marketing business. So I think you're very lucky that your husband say, go ahead. I'm sure a lot of women envy that.
Yeah, I'm very thankful.
So you quit your job for probably 2 years now. I think it's about 2 years.
No, this is my 3rd year.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So how is life different now?
Oh, it's so much different compared to when I was working. I mean, I truly have the freedom of doing whatever I love, which is this Young Living business and teaching people, educating people. And I'm doing this around my time with my family, with my kids. And that is actually my ultimate goal. 15 years ago, when I gave birth to our firstborn, at that time when I was working, I was still traveling a lot. I had to travel out to meet clients and everything, very busy. But when I was expecting my firstborn, I already had set my intention of finding a role within that company that I work for, find a role which allowed me to work full-time from home, because I did know of people who in the company who work full-time from home, right? And that was my mission, okay? And then not long after that, about 2 years after that, I landed in a role that allowed me to work full-time from home, okay? So, but then again, I was still working for a company, right?
Yeah.
So, and for that, I'm thankful. But with now that I'm doing my business, my time is more flexible because I can control how many hours a day I want to work on my business, whether I want to do it early in the morning or late at night or whatever, or in between my school runs or while waiting for my kids to finish their activities or whatever. So I would say it's different in terms of freedom and flexibility. Yeah, and also I enjoy traveling, and I since doing this wild business, I had the opportunity to travel with, the people, in our team with you. We've been to Korea together, we've been to Singapore, we've been to US for the YL retreat last year. It was an epic trip, right?
Yeah, I know, right? That was so
epic.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we went to Japan together, and I really look forward to making more of these trips together as a team, in the near future. So it has really, things are different now, and if there's one thing that has really changed is the flexibility of time to work on the business, around my schedule, as a mom and as a wife.
Great. I think not many people have the flexibility of time that people want, right? As a mom, that you want everything, but it's not easy to find a job that gives us everything.
Definitely, yeah.
So now, how challenging is this Young Living business, in your opinion, in comparison to your previous work that you were doing? Or I think at one point you were doing this part-time while you were still having a job. So how different is it in comparison?
I think it has its own set of challenges. Like when I was working, it's great that you get a fixed monthly salary at the end of the month, right? But the thing is that if you're working for a company, you're indispensable. You're dispensable.
Yeah.
Right? You're dispensable. And no matter how hard you work, I speak for myself. Okay. So no matter how hard I worked, I still got the same monthly salary at the end of the month, right? And so the challenge was that sometimes I think, like, why am I putting so much of my time in this if at the end of the day I'm still gonna get the same amount, right? But I put pride in what I do, so I do put in the hours. But when I think about it, when I'm getting the same amount of salary at the end of the month, sometimes it can be very demotivating, right? So that was the challenge for me. And also to think like, okay, what if I were to stop working, and how am I going to survive when I retire? Well, how am I going to get that like a fixed monthly amount to sustain us, right? So that we didn't have a backup plan. Okay, to be honest, we didn't have a backup plan. So that was one of the challenge, and I remember I kept just asking my husband, like, what are we going to do after we retire? How are we going to sustain our lifestyle, right? Our kids go to school, and what was going to happen to us? And then I kept saying that we needed to like do a business or something to see us through our retirement and golden age, but we never really got down to like putting the plan in action. There was not much of a plan anyway. So that was the challenge. And then when I was with Young Living, and at the same time I was working, I was like sort of doing the business on a part-time basis because I was more focused on my work, right? So the challenge there was that it's not easy to juggle between your daytime job and another business, right? Unless you're super woman, but you will burn out. So there was a challenge there. And as the saying goes, if you are into doing a business and if you're doing it like a hobby, you get paid like a hobby. So I was paid like a hobby. I was being paid like a hobby for this wild business, but I did see the potential in it, right? I did see the potential in it. Now, doing Young Living business as a full-time thing also has its own set of challenges as well. And because I'm fully invested in the business, right? So some of the challenges could be like related to a lot of things, right? Like related to people, right? Related to your own self emotions. People could be like, okay, maybe you are dealing with people who are who has lost their momentum. You're dealing with people who are negative about maybe the business, maybe, Or what are the challenges? Challenges could be like sometimes, you set yourself up for, okay, I want to be of this rank and everything, but then you don't get it, and then you're disappointed and you're demotivated. Or sometimes I have even sometimes I feel that I don't inspire, or don't inspire my team, and I find like, okay, I need to learn more to, if I learn more, then I can help inspire people more, right? And sometimes the other challenge would be to motivate the team. I'm sure a lot of business builders out there, not even Young Living Business, but any business owners would have these kind of challenges. But I think these challenges are good because it helps us to learn and be better. Without these challenges, I feel that we won't grow. So it's challenges that you have to go through, because then you will come out better at the end.
That's very, very true. Okay, so for like more than 3 years now, you're in the business of Young Living. What will you say is your biggest win or biggest gain from working on this YL business of yours?
Biggest would be to, as I mentioned earlier on, the biggest would be the flexibility of working for myself and for my team, and being able to dictate how many hours in a day that I want to put into this business. I think flexibility or options is something that I always look forward to. I would like options out there. I do not want to be limited to only a certain number of options available to me, because then I'll feel so constricted, right? So I like that there are lots more options out there for me, so that I can work on this business however I want it. And because and the fact that I'm able to still be with my kids, my growing kids, I think that, as I mentioned earlier on, was my ultimate goal. I want to be there for them, right? I don't want to be the person who like goes out at 7 o'clock in the morning, comes back at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and then I only have like 2 hours in a day to be with them. I didn't want that. Okay, I'm not saying that other people who do it are bad mothers or whatever. I mean, to each their own, but this is my personal preference as a mom. That was my preference. And also being able to help empower other members in the team. I think that is really very rewarding as well. And I do not only want this for myself. I mean, I want this for everyone in the team, so that they too have the options. If they are in a full-time working job, and if they're doing this business, it would be so nice if they have the option to say, okay, I've had it with this, I want to throw in my resignation letter or whatever. At least they have the option to do so, as opposed to, oh man, I'm stuck with this job because I really need the money and I don't have a choice. I don't have other options.
Having options. That's very important, I think. So if you can then now turn back time, will you do anything differently?
I wish I wish I got the previous starter kit earlier. And from the business perspective, I wish that I was more, I wish I had more interest in learning the compensation plan at Young Living, so that I could strategize better. But but that didn't happen. But I can't complain now, right? Whatever that comes our way, I just accept it and just take it as a learning experience and move on, right? And I'm not complaining at all, actually. I'm enjoying the journey so far. Of course, there are ups and downs, right? And that's why we have this community, right? And that's what I love about this. You get the premium starter kit, and you don't only get oils, but you get a community. And we're always there for each other, not only from the oils perspective, but for other things as well.
Okay, so lastly, what will your advice be to people who are in a similar situation, like busy working mom who is looking for an opportunity, who's looking for options, like you mentioned?
Okay, so I would say be open. Okay, don't be like me, who closed my mind to not knowing what I don't know back then when my friend introduced Young Living to me. Okay, be open to possibilities, to new things. Once you get the information, then only make your decision, but don't make your decision when you don't have that information with you. Okay, and I would recommend it that, you know, as you, if moms always want the best for their kids, want the best for their family in terms of health and wellness, right? Which mom don't want that? And I really strongly advise all moms there, if you're looking into your family's health and wellness, to really check out Young Living, because Young Living is not just a 1-year-old company, it's a 26-year-old company, right? The products, the oils, they work. They speak for themselves. You just got to get the oils onto your hands and try it for yourself. Try it for yourself, and then be open to possibilities.
Okay, that's about it from us. So thank you very much, Dinah. Thank you for taking time. I know you're a very busy mom. So I really appreciate you taking time off to do this with me. So looking forward to more travel times when this whole MCO ends.
Thank you, Melissa. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.